My voice. Let's try that. Oh, somebody's got speakers on. You should all be okay. Anyway, so as I was saying, it's a good time to start thinking about budgeting and setting some new SMART goals because we're right at the beginning of a month. That will help you build the habit of doing things consistently. And that's where the actual growth comes from, is not from surges, but from doing things plenty of times over and over again. So what I want to show you guys, specifically retaining to the budget sheets, is how to build up a template file that we just copy and paste at every time you get paid or at the start of every month. And how you can quickly do that. Again, doing the work now so you don't have to do it later. All right, so I have my example budgeting spreadsheet open here currently. So you guys need to pull up your project 1.1, whether that's in Excel or on Google Sheets. You got to pull it up because we're going to build a template file, and I'll walk you through that process. It kind of jumps back and forth, so it's a little bit of a confusing process the way that I walk through it. Because we didn't set the template up to begin with. We just did it for the 1 month. But leave your money that you spent, that you turned in for 1.1. So like my 200 in savings, my 10 visits to Mercury's for $120. Leave all that in there because we're gonna remove it on the template version. So when you're looking at the progress of your spreadsheet so far, the first thing you want to do is go down to the bottom here. This works for Excel or for Sheets, and right click on this sheet that says, it probably says sheet 1 if you didn't give it a name, down in the bottom right. You can see it right down here. If you right click on it or you click on this little arrow, there's this duplicate button right here. When you click on that, I think Excel, it's called move or copy, and then it just asks you which one you want to make a copy of, and then you click OK. It's just a little bit more clicks. But it's going to pull up copy of SHS Feb 2024, or yours probably says copy of sheet 1. That copy is what we're going to turn into our template sheet that we're going to hide each month until we get money. Until you acquire bread, you keep the template sheet hidden. But we haven't configured the template sheet yet, and we're going to do that now. So the same place that you duplicated, you can either right click on the sheet itself or click on the little arrow. We're going to rename this to just the word template. Okay. Oh, I already have a file called template. Hold on. Give me 1 sec. Oh. Okay, so you're renaming the thing that popped up when you hit copy or duplicate or move or copy to template. So on a template file, this is going to be something that is blank in 3 categories, but your bill category should remain the same. So I'm going to go through on my template sheet, make sure that you have the template sheet selected, and I'm going to take out all of these transactions and all of the notes from my fun, my savings, and my groceries categories. I left out bills because bills are something that are consistent and are going to cost usually the same every month, right? I'm also on the template file going to remove the income. So yours probably is in your income work section or your income other sections. I will show you how to do this color changing thing later. So right now we're $950 over budget, but I will show you how to do that later. So get your spreadsheet as blank as possible. You could even delete bills for the time being, but we're going to put them all back in the template because those happen every month. Okay, so with this template file, you want to include the bills that you're paying every month. So for example's sake, I am going to put, hold on. I'm going to put something I'm paying every month is rent. I'm getting gas every month. I have some credit cards. I have some student loans. And I also, what else do I need to do every month? Oh, I have utilities as well. So stuff like internet and water and sewer and garbage and all the fun stuff that you need to live, right? These 3 things I know I'm going to pay every month. My fun is going to differ every month. My savings and my groceries are going to be from different stores. Those are all going to be changing, but the bills should stay relatively the same. All right, so if you don't pay rent, that's fine. Think about things that you do have to pay every month. Most likely your subscriptions, putting gas in your car if you drive, putting money on your Orca if you take the bus. Oh wait, you guys are under 18, your Orca's free, never mind. Just think about things that you know you're gonna spend money on every month that aren't in the fun groceries or savings category. So for example's sake, I'm gonna put $1,000 for rent. I'm gonna put equals 0 for gas because I haven't bought any gas yet. $240 for my credit card payments. We'll put $300 for my student loans, and then $50 for utilities. That is the money that I know is going to have to happen every month in order for me to not get in trouble with the state or the government or the credit card companies or whatever, or get evicted. We don't want to do that. On the template file though, keep these bills that you know are going to happen in the sections and leave the rest of them blank. Because what we do, the habit portion of using this spreadsheet is every time you get paid or at the start of every month, you're going to right click on that template file and duplicate it. Same thing is going to look exactly the same, but it's blank except for the bills that we know we have to pay. And then you right click, rename that to the current month or the current pay period. So SHS March 2024. Okay. You can adjust these sheets at the bottom. If you see in the Zoom room, I can move these around in any order that I want. I usually put the current month, the current budget month, I put at the front of the line so that it loads first whenever I open the documents. But you can set this up however you'd like. The last thing that you need to do for the setup portion of this spreadsheet, of this budgeting sheet, is to right click on the template icon right down here in the bottom, and we're going to hide that sheet. Should be the same on Excel. I'm not exactly sure what it's called, but if you right click and you hide sheet, doesn't delete it, it puts it up here in the view category in the hidden sheets template right here. Ignore that other one. That was my one that it was mad about. So what you should be looking at is a blank sheet for March that you'll put in your income as well as labeling for the month of March. And what we're going to do with these this month is, as an entry task, just update them a little bit. Now, if you don't have a job, that is fine. Again, it's not required to have you're not required to have a job outside of high school for this class. But those of you who've mentioned you've recently gotten jobs, now you have a spreadsheet that you can track that money coming in and out. Or if you don't have a job or don't have a lot of bills to be concerned with, we can just put in placeholder numbers with each entry task. I care more about creating the habit and creating the consistency more than the actual numbers and the results. Plus also, it's, you know, it's okay if you don't want me to know what you're spending your money on. I get it. I understand. But I do want you to understand how these habits become and how this, by keeping up with this consistently, you'll get an idea of what you spend your money on the most, what you could let go of. Like, for example, I deleted Netflix this month. I was never using it. So you'll notice how much things add up and how to keep track of once you keep doing this consistently. But the biggest thing is building that template to make it easy on ourselves, which we've done here. You don't have to turn anything new in yet because we're going to do something called conditional formatting at another time. That'll be the V2 of our spreadsheet, and that'll be turned in towards the end of this month. So you still have some time to finish it up. Okay, so at the start of the month is a great time to kind of reconsider what you need to focus on and what you need to prioritize. So I'm going to have you guys set a SMART goal for the week and for the month, as well as doing the action plan. So if you need a reminder, not a reminder, but like a refresher on SMART goals, you can go to the thread here and then click on the SMART goals link. That will take you to the weekly goals assignment that we did before break, but it has that fillable template that you can download and fill out for your monthly goals and for your weekly goals. But you got to do both the SMART goals and the action plan. Okay, so I'll let you guys do that for a bit. And then after that, we'll get into introduced to our last little bit, the investing in yourself PowerPoint that I have to show off. One quick item of business before you get into your SMART goals too much. If you were absent for presentation day, please send me a message and I can get you grouped up with some other students who weren't absent. So you guys can all get the credit for that assignment. And there is a new seating chart for your version of tomorrow. Oh, it will be tomorrow for you. So you also want to message me things that you want considered in your seating chart. And you have to message me because I will forget if you don't. So message me stuff you want me to think about. Okay, so you guys right now should be setting a weekly SMART goal and a monthly SMART goal. I'm gonna pause the Zoom recording. Let's take about 10 minutes and then we'll get into my PowerPoint for the day. So we're live once more. You guys should be focused up real quick. Put your wiggles out, please. Somebody's got their sound on. I can hear it. Huh? Perfect timing. We're in the Zoom room if you wanna join in. Do you have a pass? All right, so in other news, settle down. I need to update our canvas because week 4 is currently missing. I need to add some stuff about the mood board presentations and things. We didn't do all that much that week, so it'll be a light one. But week 5 is up this week for the this semester. We've already been in school for second semester for over a month, which is crazy. But it's got a spot to upload your weekly and your monthly SMART goal. They are worth more than 0 points. I just put these together really fast so that you guys would have a place to upload your weekly and monthly SMART goals right here. Okay, you can do that by the end of the day. I got the hiccups. Okay, so let's go through this PowerPoint about investing in yourself. So you guys should be able to see the PowerPoint on the Zoom room. Since we're live, your phone should be away, please. You guys know the deal. Okay. So this PowerPoint is from that Future Ready Sandbox. There are a couple things that I want to start off by saying I don't love the way that they describe things that you're good at are purely a skill that gets you a job. There's a lot more to life than that. So just bear that in mind when it says things like human capital. That's a little too focused on all you do is a job. I don't like that. You guys are more than that. So just so you're aware, I'm not a huge fan of the language on here, but it does have some good stuff. Okay, so what is a job? We know that it's an activity which individual can earn money. You'll have several during your lifetime. We know that, blah, blah, blah. Skip this. This is the part that I'm interested in having us kind of develop at this point. So, human capital is that thing that I don't love the language that they've chosen. This should be considered more your skills and interests. These are things that you provide to the world. Good things, bad things, things that you could grow, things that you are proud of, right? That's all in being human. Doesn't have to be so capitalist. Okay, and then the other thing is transferable skills, is how your different skills relate to one another, how they complement one another, how they could complement one another. Both of those two things combined are investing time into yourself to become the best version that you could possibly be, right? So you might be wondering, how can a person invest in their human capital? Again, I hate that term, but human capital. Those are your skills, your knowledges, and your experiences that you bring to any table that you're a part of, and they are valuable to others and to their time, right? As a definition for transferable skills, there are skills that can be provided or applied to both your personal and your professional roles. How they work together is important because you can be very good at a job, but there's also a lot of socialization and kind of norms and cultural things that happen at work that you should be aware of, that transferable skills kind of fill the gaps between your actual knowledge, right? The 4 main categories of transferable skills for the purposes of this PowerPoint are interpersonal, it's talking to other people; analytical, thinking about how things break down, right? Technical skills, hands-on skills, and your organizational skills. The biggest ones that have helped me in my career so far have been interpersonal and organizational skills. If you can help other people get things figured out with your analytical and technical skills, and then present that nicely with taking advantage of your interpersonal skills, you have a lot of practice using a lot of these different transferable skills. All right. Think about what's a skill that you possess in each category. Thinking out just kind of to yourself. More detailed breakdown of some of the stuff that you can do to kind of foster these skills, keep them fresh. there's a saying that I really enjoy that we talked about a little bit in hold on. Oh, it's gonna really make me do this. Okay, there we go. Skill that or something that we really talked about in second period was kind of the idea of how many of you guys have heard the phrase stay hungry, stay foolish? Anybody have heard that before? It basically means that a lot of life happens when you're growing, right? You're looking for things, you're looking for more knowledge, you're asking lots of questions, you're staying hungry, keep looking for the next thing, and you're staying foolish. You're asking lots of questions are the two biggest things, right? And these are ways that you can stay hungry and stay foolish in your professional life, as well as outside of your working days, right? So by investing in your humanness, your human capitalness, and your transferable skills, this can develop into a career, otherwise known as your lifetime journey of building and applying skills, right? More so than just a job that pays bills, a career is something that you look forward to doing, right? Why develop your career, right? It enhances your well-being, which makes you feel better about your life, contributes to a high well-being as well. There's two different directions that things can improve. And if they add to your high well-being, it gives you those feelings of success, meaningful work, and is something that you enjoy. And it also creates just good feelings about your life by investing in yourself, basically. So why should you develop a career? Big one, potential to earn more money, right? That is a lot of the reasons that we're going to work. I love this job, but I do need to pay the bills. So you have to, it's not rude to consider money as part of your job search. That's kind of something that's changed over the years. When I was looking for work, it was kind of a faux pas. It was a flub, kind of a mess up to ask or just focus on money. You should not have to worry about that. You got to pay bills, right? And so the two things that you consider in why you develop your career are, we're almost out of time here, are your lifestyle, is how you choose to live your life based on the purchases and experiences that you enjoy. Your habits, attitudes, and tastes to a lot of things is your lifestyle. But the standard of living is the thing that your lifestyle influences. So I encourage you guys to have things that you are non-negotiable, right? There are a couple things that when I was looking for apartments earlier this year, right, there were things that I had to have that were luxuries, that I knew that they were luxuries. I knew that they weren't required for my life, but I was willing to spend a little bit more money to have these luxuries. That's how you think about standard of living, right? You consider how you could live based on what you can afford and the things that are really, really important to your lifestyle. Like, for example, I canceled Netflix this month. I wasn't using it, so that was not important enough to my lifestyle to stick around. So that frees up some more money that I can put towards my standard of living. Basically, the gist is, how is your lifestyle going to fit into the career that you want to develop? And what kind of life can you live with the money and the experiences that you want to have based on that standard of living? So how can you actually invest in yourself? The biggest one is continuing education. This does not mean college only. Continuing education means on-the-job training. It means just self-directing, self-teaching, growing is what continuing education means. It can be work that you get on-the-job training for. It can be a job that you want to explore college about, right? Continuing your education is how you invest in yourself. Whether that's informal, that's stuff that your friends teach you, or things that aren't taught by a teacher necessarily, or formal training, right? Formal training, you're learning the specific skills are typically from experts. That's going to be your college and your workshop sort of directions. And then informal training is a learning that's going to occur in the everyday life. That's networking with other professionals, networking with people interested in the same things, or people who could teach you something, and reading just general information. Informal training is more that self-directed, kind of your own realizations, whereas formal training is more structured and provided by a professional of some kind, right? Think about what type of informal and formal training are you currently participating in. Think about things like sports or club activities or just your homework, right? Informal and formal training is happening a lot of the time. Training gets good results. You get better job security. Your job's a little bit more enjoyable because you know what you're doing, less stress. You increase your earnings because you can demonstrate you're able to do more and more things. You make different connections with people, enhance your skills, it increases your knowledge. All types of good stuff that happen from just a little bit of effort into yourself, right? Post-secondary high school or post-secondary education is also known as college. You guys are currently in secondary education. So the typical prerequisite for that, things that you have to complete before you do post-secondary education, you need a diploma, which you guys are working towards, or passing the GED test, which happens outside of high school if you ever need to do that. If you have formal training with no degree, just the high school or GED diploma, you can become a specialist. You can be a certificate or non-certificate, right? Some college, this is, oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Oh, man, there's a lot of animations in this PowerPoint, right? This breaks down from just training on the job all the way up to a bachelor's degree, the 4 years of college. These are the types of results that you'll get based on these levels of training, right? Once you get a bachelor's degree, you can think about getting a master's, a doctorate, or a professional degree. These are obviously going to take a lot more time, a lot more money, and a lot more effort to obtain because they're the next levels beyond bachelor's degree. But if you need some context, I only have a bachelor's degree and I am in a career position, so it is possible, right? Post-secondary education occurs in wherever it works best for you. I went to community college and I absolutely loved it, saved a bunch of money. You can also go to technical or vocational schools. We have a lot of those in the area, especially with the hands-on things. Your typical college, your universities are, these are kind of increasing in size as we go down the list. Then there's private institutions and academies. I'm not exactly sure what they define academies as, but private institutions are just any type of private school, private college, private training that you usually have to pay more for, right? Education, as it increases, your income earning ability and your unemployment chances both change. Your ability to earn more income increases and your ability to be unemployed decreases since you have more connections and knowledge and skill set through education. Again, this is not college exclusively. It can be on the job. It can be certificated. It can be workshops, right? Just education as a whole, right? Increases your ability to make money and decreases your ability to be unemployed, right? Here's some graphs. I don't know, Anthony's story doesn't work for some reason. Let's just go through these real fast, right? We don't have Anthony's story to reference, so we'll just kind of go through all these. Okay. It would be really helpful if we had Anthony's story. Okay. Changing gears. There's two different definitions I want you guys to be aware of. There's something called occupation, and then there's something called industry, right? Occupations are groupings of jobs that perform similar tasks. For example, my occupation is education. So I'm working with classified staff, like happy classified staff. Appreciation week, by the way. Make sure you thank your janitors, your tech guys, all the office people. They do a lot of good work and they don't get a lot of good thanks a lot of the time. So, but that's an occupation. Lots of different jobs happen at a school, but we all work in education, right? Versus an industry, which are groups of establishments that produce similar products or provide similar services. Like the film industry, for example. Film industry has actors, camera teams, audio teams, editing teams, marketing teams, producing teams, all tons of different responsibilities. But because they work together to create a common goal of a film or of a movie of some type, that's an industry. So occupations are a little bit more local, industries are a little bit more in the kind of big scheme of things, just so you're aware of the differences, right? So let's look at Jenny's example. Her occupation is an accountant. The industry is in manufacturing, and the current job is an accountant for an electronics company, whereas the industry is in leisure and hospitality. So she's working in doing accounting. She can do it for manufacturing, which makes sense if she's doing accounting for an electrical company, or she can work in leisure and hospitality, which would make her an accountant for a hotel, right? So your occupation is what you do more on the day-to-day, whereas the industry is context about the job that you're going to have, right? So the occupation of elementary school teacher is in the industry of education and health services, and the job is teaching second grade. So if you were to get a master's degree in education. That brings you to a higher opportunity of elementary, middle, and high school principals, right? Who will also work in the industry of education and health services, but the job is a principal, changes things depending on the amount of formal training that you can receive, right? These three things all lead together. Okay, well, there we go. Jobs, occupations, and industries all help determine what continuing education to pursue. These are going to influence your choices outside of college or outside of high school. What kind of job do you want? What sort of occupation, what sort of responsibilities do you want to keep doing? And who do you want to work with? What communities do you want to participate in? Will all help you determine what education you want to pursue, right? So career clusters is probably a term that you've heard of every once in a while. It's a grouping of occupations and industries based on the knowledge and skills required. It's basically just contextual career grouping. We only got a minute left in the Zoom room, so I'll wrap this up real quick. But a career cluster is going to help you prepare for employment because it's going to give you an idea of something that you could do every day and not get too sick of. So in the last minute of the Zoom room here, I want you guys to hear me out. My mic has been off this entire time, so I apologize to people in the back. Hopefully you've been able to hear me. There is also a saying that says, if you're doing what you love, you don't work a day in your life, okay? This is not entirely true. Even though you're doing what you love, you do still have to do job aspects, and there will still be a level of frustration after enough time that you'll burn out of the thing that you once loved doing. So what I'll say, instead of doing what you love, you won't work a day in your life, find something that lets you do what you enjoy doing, but is not more work than fun, right? Thinking about careers, thinking about the end goal, you want to look forward to coming to work, but you still have to do the work part of it. So don't just throw out the work part entirely, expecting every day to be super exciting. But the exciting days will be there. So instead of just thinking about that, I think the Zoom room is going to wrap up. Anyway, I hope that makes sense. So I'm going to end this process.